Hi there, it's Pete the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and this evening we have had the chance to play this, Tawantinsuyu.
Say that again.
Tawantinsuyu. Is that right, Dave? Did I actually do it right?
Tawantinsuyu? I don't know.
There are other games, there are a whole load of these tea games, I'm sure you've all seen them, and they are more and more complex to say. I'm hoping I've got that right. But if you're, comment if I've got it wrong, if anybody can do that phonetic language, stick it in the comments, help us out. What did we think? Stay tuned and find out. So, Tawantinsuyu, thank you ever so much to Board&Dice. I said it look, I think I'm saying it right every time. At least I'm consistent, which is good. So Board&Dice sent this out for us to take a look at. This is possibly one of the, meatiest games. It's a relatively heavy Euro, this one. There's a lot going on, but on the flip side, actually, on your turn, there's only 5 different things you can possibly do. So it's one of those where there are.
You say 5 is like AP
There's only 5
nightmare.
different things you can do in 3 different orders with 17 different icons available.
Yeah, so this is not a game. It is not a game. This is not a gateway game. This is a game for solid gamers. Learning game took us 4 players took us 2.5 hours. That included me trying my best to explain the rules and then taking it slowly through the first couple of rounds as people got their heads around it. But by the end of the game, we knew what was going on, and actually, it was relatively close by the end of the game as well. So I think in terms of once you've played it once, you really get how this game works. I absolutely love this type of game. I really did, and I really enjoyed this. This really does shine. However, but it is a challenge. If you're not used to playing sort of heavier Euros, this is going to be relatively difficult to get your teeth into. But on the flip side, I have played games that are heavier, and I keep looking around for you guys, and you're all looking at rules and checking things out, so you're ready. There are significantly heavier games out there, but this is. There's an elegance to this that I really enjoyed. In essence, it's a worker placement game, but there are so many different levels to the way you place your workers, and also then there's an element of resource management, and you've also got some engine building, and I'm just trying to think what the other one is.
Potatoes.
Potatoes!
We can come back to you.
Potato placement.
We'll leave it for that for now. I was just thinking, what was I thinking?
Potato
Potatoes.
placement! There's potato placement.
Slightly Bearded James here, and Tawantinsuyu, otherwise known as the Potato Game, is fantastic. Now, potatoes play a massive role in this game. I've never played a game with so many potatoes in it, and Dave is the Potato King.
Came last.
Oh yeah,
Lots of potatoes.
Potatoes won't get you that
call
far.
that a win.
But firstly, I was going to mention the rulebook is, I don't know, it's chunky, but it's really nicely written. It's nicely laid out, very clear, and lots of great examples in there as well. This game is big. For me, I'm a simple man, and when it was laid out on the table and we saw the player aid. Okay. The player aid. All of this information is relevant and useful and important for every single round, and then there's some stuff on the end scoring as well. This game was daunting for me at first, and by the end of the game, I understood it. And I feel like I don't ever want to play it again because I won by fluke, and no one can take that away from me. I won through the careful use of tapestry weaving, and basically, I never moved from my spot. I built steps. People gave me points for using steps, and I never went to war. So if you want to win, be a pacifist who weaves tapestries and builds steps. The ways you can win in this game, the ways that you can get points are so widely varied, and there are so many different things you could dig into and get big points out of. It seemed like all of us really went for tapestries for some reason, and we did quite well out of it. But the thing is, not only do you get points by going down these different avenues, you get resources, you get benefits. So this game is very complex at first glance, but actually is understandable. We did joke that Pete said that there are only, 5 things you can do. There are only 5 things you can do, but if you have analysis paralysis, 5 things on a massive board full of loads of options is quite daunting. And we did have, more often than not, a lot of, whose go is it? You should have prepared for your go, and why are we not moving? This game is definitely going to be a brain burner for some people. But it is fantastic. It's so cleverly balanced, and it runs really nicely. And the different routes that we went down actually managed to have a nice tight finish at the end of the game. So really like this one. And yeah, would like to play it again, but I'm not going to because I won, and you can't take that away from me.
Bearded Lady, yeah, this is a point salad of a game. A smorgasbord, if you will, of ways in which you can play. And yeah, good old Pete, he has a gift, a ministry, if you will, in reading rules and then explaining how a game works. And Dave and I have a gift in not listening.
And then getting cross when I use the rules that I've explained to score points that you then don't score, and then you get a bit...
Anyway.
That's what you look like, if I remember rightly.
So yeah, I'll often be sitting there thinking, I haven't a clue what, let's just get started. And Dave and I are often like, let's just get going. And then as we get going, we kind of understand it more and more. And I think very close to the end, or at least partway through, maybe halfway through, Dave and I were starting to go, yeah, getting it a little bit more. But there's so much happening on that board. There's loads of different icons on there, but gradually, for me, I could understand it and get into it. And yeah, there is so many ways, and often you think, you get your go planned out, and then you think, sometimes my go took place in about 5 seconds. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm doing that. Other times I'd be thinking, I could go here, I could go here, I could go here. There's so many different options on what I could do to score points and to try and get me to obviously a better high score. When we first started off on the game, I shot ahead in the game, and I was like, this is brilliant. I don't even understand it, and I'm winning. I came second to last. But even in that, like James has said, it was really close. So I think there was 2 or 3 points between first and second, and 2 and 3 points between last and second to last, and then quite a gulf in between those two.
2 little mini games, if you will.
Yeah, but good all the same. And yeah, once we got into it, it was an enjoyable game, and one that actually all of us sat around the table was saying, you know what? When we play this game again, we'll be better at it. As long as we play this game in the next few weeks, because there's so much to learn again that you need to keep it fresh in your mind and play through it like that. But yeah, a good game, and one certainly to check out and get involved in. Even if you are like me and maybe struggle with the meatier types of games, this is still a good one to check out.
Hi, Dave the Grey.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, it was very apparent. There's only 3 turns to this game, although there's several sort of rounds in the turn, but it was very apparent about halfway through turn 2 that 2 people around the table had in fact listened, learned and digested the rules, and 2 people had not listened, learned, and digested the rules.
We haven't got any buildings, have we?
No buildings. I didn't start my tapestry until like end of turn 2.
Potatoes.
I did have a lot of potatoes though, which to my mind, you know, James may have won from a points perspective. However, I had the most potatoes.
If it was a potato race, then
You know, if it was a potato race, which it was, only one winner. But yeah, I tend to, like Ange, go, let's just start playing. We'll pick it up as we go along. And then round about halfway through, I start badly and then it clicks. And then I've left it a bit late to actually, you know, catch up and win the game. Second time round, I think I would do massively better.
Because Dave would get it.
And I now understand how everything goes together. Because there are only 5 actions, but there's a lot of moving parts to where you're putting your guys. You can block other people, actually, but don't tell the others. They don't know yet. And there is a lot going on within those sort of 5 possible. And you only do one of those at a time. So yeah, lots of moving parts, lots to think about, but play it once, learn it, second time round, you'll have an absolute blast. So no, great game. You might be able to pronounce it if you try really hard. And if you like potatoes, trust me, this is the game for you. 2 thumbs up. Definitely next time I'll have the lot of them.
Hipster King here with a little coda, if you will, to the review. So, a couple of things just to throw in at the end. This has got a brilliant solo mode. So, if you're a solo gamer, I used the solo game to learn it as well, which was really useful, sort of pre-playing it. With the solo, you have to control your own turn, but also the kind of automa, the Axamama, apparently, and there's a bit of dice rolling, and the kind of the decisions are made around what actions they will do, depending, you know, if they've got the resources to be able to do them. So so the solo mode is really, really good. So what I think that where this game really shines is it's one of those games, I think Dave was saying it, that if you make a mistake on one of your turns, that can be really costly, and that's why some of your turns, even though you might have been planning it all the way around, when it gets to you, you've still got 3 or 4 options and you're constantly weighing up, if I do that, what's that going to leave me? What's that going to provide me? Because I've, you know, and you're looking, basically there's a timer for each round. You've got a number of workers out in the village, and once that village is cleared, you have a festival, and that is the end of that round, and there are only 3 rounds. So you can kind of see when it's likely to finish. And so you've got an idea of how many turns you've got left, and so you're then trying to work out, right, what's my best way of maximising with the turns I've got left, what I can do. So for example, at the end, I'm looking at the end game score and thinking I've got 3 buildings that are turned down, they're worth 2 points each. If I can spend even some really good resources that are only worth 1 point each to flip those over, that's worth doing to get me the 2 points at the end. So is there a better action that I can do with those resources that might get me more points? There's all that weighing up, and that's where the AP can potentially come in, but it does mean that you really are thinking your way through this game, and that's what I love. Again, I can't do it all the time because I haven't got the headspace for it, but it's nice when you come out of a game and you think, my brain's had a workout, I've really had to work hard to sort that out today. I really enjoy that. If you like that, you will love this game. Big thumbs up from this hairy game lord. Love the potatoes.